Hello my friends, and welcome to another declutter video. As you may know, I am working on decluttering all of my eyeshadow palettes. This is part 2, the colorful version. If you missed the neutrals, I will link it somewhere over in the corner. Alright, so that time I managed to get rid of over 50% of my neutral palettes. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're one of those people who enjoys declutters, to watch people get rid of a lot, this video is probably not for you. I live a very strange life. Very strange. And I actually need a lot of these colors because I have a lot of very intense outfits. I'm on a stage at least twice a week and I need colors to match my outfits. So yeah, as much as this is the polar opposite of most people's lives, this is my life. So I actually need a lot of these eyeshadows. So I'm not going to be decluttering anywhere near as much as I did for round 1, but I'm still going to, get this collection down to a size that is more manageable. So let's jump in. You know how I do it. I group my palettes together as best as I can, although grouping these together is going to be very difficult. So I'm starting with my more rainbow type of palettes. I like to pick out my favorites, so let me just say right now, oh my goodness, Viseart. These are the best blending eyeshadows I've ever found, and when it comes to mattes, that's difficult to achieve. I will never part with this. Also, pardon the band-aid, I cut the crap out of my thumb, so great timing when I'm doing these videos, but life is life. Life is life. And then my second pick would be the Lime Crime 20th Anniversary palette. This shocked me by being incredible, and I don't even know why I'm shocked. I've said it many times, the formula that Lime Crime has just works really well for me. It's a harder pressed formula than a lot of other formulas, except for with their shimmers. Their mattes are more firmly pressed, and it just works well for me. These, it's so beautiful. Okay, so out of the rest of these, this Urban Decay Electric, I think this is one that I'm just going to have until I feel like it's too old as well, mainly because the blues actually stand out. I don't have anything in my collection that is like these two blues in this palette. I do have this green many times over. Nothing quite like that spring green either. But yeah, it's an old palette. It's no longer available, but I do really enjoy it. That leaves us with 3 less expensive ones. It's how it goes. This Delancey Heartquake eyeshadow palette from a brand that I have never heard of and found only on Amazon actually blew my mind. It's actually a really good palette. Okay, I need to get rid of something. Let's let go of the Sugar Trip Squad. This is a nice palette, but it's no longer available, and that's always a bummer. I will be keeping the Take Me Back to Brazil palette by BH Cosmetics. Not the world's best palette, but what's really nice about this is something I already explained in the beginning of this video. I typically need certain colors, and look at all the colors you get in this. So yeah, I'm really happy that I have this. It's a good palette. What do we call this selection? This is kind of palettes with some amount of color to them, but not maybe overwhelming color. Ooh, what happened to my Juvia's Place palette? Kind of getting messed up. Okay, so my favorites out of here, I don't even really need to tell you guys this because you already know. The BH Cosmetics Zodiac is a phenomenal series. It's an entire series. Incredible. Absolutely keeping. I love those more than some of my high-end palettes. As far as what I don't like, well, I'm going to keep Born to Run. I'm mostly keeping this because it's brand new to my collection, and as I've said, I don't give away stuff that I've owned for, a couple of weeks. So I will be keeping this and continuing to use it. Let's see. I really enjoyed my Juvia's Place Masquerade palette for a long time. It's a fantastic palette. It's huge. You see the size of these pans. They're huge. Absolutely huge. I will continue to hold on to that for the time being. That means we have 4 palettes here that I don't quite know what to do with. The e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette is actually a surprisingly good $16 palette, but I don't need it. I also don't need this Rimmel Magnifies Jewel Rocks. This was only okay in my personal opinion, though. In spite of how much I like the purple one, This one is no longer available. The, what's this called? The Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne palette. This is actually a really good palette. I'm gonna put this into that purgatory pile and kind of figure out if I want to keep it, though. I think I have the wrong brush in this. Is this the wrong brush? Good palette, but no longer available. And the reason that bums me out is because when I use palettes that are no longer available, and then people ask what it is, they can't really purchase them, and that, you know, that's unfortunate. This right here is the Ciate and Chloe Morello palette. It's really good quality as well, firmly pressed. I really actually need to play around with this more, so let's put this into that maybe's pile as well. Let's do these pastel shades next. So my favorite out of these, and I don't know if it's really as pastel as the others, but the Too Faced Life's a Festival palette is incredible. If you guys see this at TJ Maxx, I don't even know why it's there. It's such a good quality palette. I think people just griped because they didn't like the Unicorn Rainbows theme. What a thing to complain about. Incredible palette. I also shockingly love two more drugstore palettes. This NYX Air palette, this is sadly no longer available. Oop, I'm shining light into your eyes. This is no longer available, sadly, but it is a beautiful palette. I think the reason people got so upset with NYX for this whole collection is that they tried to release them at a completely new price point. And in all fairness, I honestly think they are that much better, but it's still shocking for a, you know, formerly affordable brand to suddenly be like, now we're doing $30 palette. I can easily let the NYX Love You So Mochi go. What was this in? I think we used this in best in, oh, My Fiance Buys Me the Best and Worst Makeup. This was one of the worst. I don't actually hate it. I think that it would be a nice palette for somebody who is trying to just kind of create a really light look, just like a one shadow on the eyelid type of look. I think it would be good for that. But that's not what I do, so I don't need it. Now, I actually love this little Essence Fairy Wings and Things eyeshadow palette. Fairy Wings and Magical Things. This is a great pastel palette. Just shocked me out of nowhere that the drugstore would have such a good pastel palette. I guess that means I don't really need this ColourPop My Little Pony. It's a nice palette, just like everything from ColourPop, but I don't need it. So I'm gonna let that one go. This one is one that I found in a box that I had forgotten about. Bearing in mind that I didn't use Tarte for a long time, I'm gonna bring this back and kind of trial it out. I don't know if I will keep it. It is a pretty palette. Yeah, I need to play with it more. I was unaware until this moment how many jewel-toned eyeshadow palettes I have, but apparently I have acquired a lot over the years. Now, if you know my channel, you might know that my favorite here is the Urban Decay Heavy Metals eyeshadow palette. Even though this one is no longer available, it is a stunning palette. So what I'm going to try to do is look objectively at this collection and see where I have the same color too many times. I do want to make sure that I keep a bright and intense red. So that means I'm either going to keep the Violet Voss Le Macaron palette or the ColourPop Semi-Precious. Now, I am not really a ColourPop person. Okay, this is, you guys want an unpopular opinion thrown into this video? I don't love ColourPop. Everybody else in the entire world loves ColourPop. I just don't. They just... I can objectively say that their quality is fantastic, but I can also tell you that there's something about the way they release palettes that doesn't excite me. And look, you can see this is the least used out of every palette here. So you know what that's telling me? It's telling me to let it go. I don't get a ton of use out of the Game of Cones palette, but I do adore the blue and green in here. Oh, this one also has a red, but it's kind of a pink. In real life. You see that? Did you see how that just happened? Let's try these reds. So this one has a much more brown red than the Violet Voss. What about over here? It looks like we're getting into more maroons. Isn't it amazing how every color is truly different? There is a red in the Heavy Metals palette that is quite similar to this one. The only color I'd be interested in keeping is Lounge, but I don't think I really and truly need Lounge anymore, so I'm actually going to get rid of the After Dark eyeshadow palette. This was a great palette at its time. Y'all, I don't need to keep this just because I had these colors in other places. So I'm going to go ahead and let go of After Dark. let's let go of this Essence palette. It's not bad, but it's not a mind-blowing palette. It's one of those that's good for the price, basically. So yeah, even though I love fairy wings and magical things, I'm gonna let I'm with the band go. I don't exactly need this Kiko eyeshadow palette either, but it has something very magical going on in the way the glitters pick up light. It's almost prettier than some of these high-end palettes. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's put this one in purgatory and decide if we really need it or not. And let's do the same thing with this Violet Voss eyeshadow palette. This one is cute, but man, I don't love Violet Voss. There's a lot of unpopular opinions in this video today. Don't love Violet Voss. Don't love ColourPop. Y'all don't even own anything from Morphe. Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm about to not own anything from Morphe. But I'm gonna keep the rest of these. I really do. I like Beauty Bakery. The Game of Cones eyeshadow palette is really cute. This VH Cosmetics one is also really, it's so pretty. It's just, this is a fun one. I will be keeping this one. These are the rest. These are the rest of my colors. I kind of have this in a rough color scheme, but I'll explain it. So these two over here on the left, I will be keeping both of these. Of course, my Viseart Dark Mattes. I don't have anything else that is like this. It is dark but colorful, blends like a dream, as do all Viseart shadows. So I mean, that's one of my top 2 palettes in my entire collection. I also, as unpopular of an opinion as this is, I love the Moon Dust. These are toppers. These are glitter toppers that are specifically made to go over other eyeshadows. They're so stunning, but it is a bit more subtle. I love it though. I love the effect. And then I have these as my mostly green, mostly blue, mostly purples. Let's get rid of this Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic eyeshadow palette. Honestly, I never liked this. I can recognize that there's a certain amount of people that enjoyed this, and that is great. I just didn't. I didn't think these blend well. I didn't think they applied well. I didn't think they wore well. And I really and truly, I should have returned it. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was being weird about returns. But yeah, I don't like it at all. Now, I officially own no palettes from Morphe. Go figure, I'm gonna keep the BH Cosmetics Aquarius. It's a beautiful palette. I'm sorry in advance if this video is choppy. I'm trying to work around whatever work they're doing outside. Alright, so as far as these purple palettes, I will be decluttering the Marc Jacobs Tease. I realized how old this is. It needs to go. Of course, I'll be keeping the Pat McGrath. It is a new palette to me. That's the La Vie en Rose. Ooh, it is stunning. This palette is so beyond beautiful on, and it wears forever. Gorgeous. So beautiful. Did you guys notice that she raised her prices, though? Ugh, glad I got that when I did. This is a nice palette, shockingly. This Rimmel Electric Violet palette is really good. I'm gonna keep it. This Flesh one, I think I'm gonna let that go. I kind of appreciate some aspects of this. It does have a lot of really pretty silvers. Yeah, I don't need it, do I? I really don't. So I just did my final counts. I am keeping 20 eyeshadow palettes, decluttering at least 11 with 5 that I'll be kind of figuring out. I actually did better than I thought that I would for this. I kind of figured I would end up decluttering 5 palettes, but I realized I don't need all of these, and that's a lot, even though I'm definitely also saying goodbye to the brands ColourPop and Morphe for my entire collection. Probably forever. You should never say forever in the makeup world, should you? But I hope you guys did enjoy watching this video. If you did, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more. Let me know if you want to see more declutters. I definitely am doing a huge declutter in the month of August, so let me know if these are videos you enjoy watching. Thank you guys for watching this one, and I'll see you all next time.